So you want to start a revolution? Great. I'm here to talk about that. Yes, I stole that line from Good Mythical Morning. And if you have kids and you watch YouTube with your kids, you know what I'm talking about. My name is Paul Gordon, and I am with State of Wake, and we are going to talk about that. So you want to start a revolution. Now, my audience here that I'm talking to are folks that are in the let's end the coercive enterprise camp. Coercive enterprise is just my phrase that I use to describe the state. I want to point out a few things here before you go down that path. This is probably going to be a two-part video, maybe a one-part video, I'm not sure. I'll find out at the end of this video. The question is this. Before you go down this path, have you taken good stock of the land? What's actually going on around us? What is the reality in this coercive enterprise territory called the United States of America? The first question is this. Among all the people that are upset right now, that are clamoring for civil war or insurrection or whatever range that they're talking about that involves somehow replacing the current regime with something else. Out of all of those people in this land, what do you think the percentage of people are whose goal is to replace the state with this? Zip, zero, nada, zilch. What do you think the percentage of those people are? I don't think that there's a scientific poll out there, but I am going to say, and I'm basing this on, if you look at polling data as far as they are, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, how do you identify, in addition to who are you planning on voting for in the presidential election? And you see that the numbers will add up to maybe 97, 98% of the people that they're polling, that they would pick someone, some party, some identity that reflects an automatic acceptance of a coercive enterprise. Maybe the figure is 1% or less, but let's just give it the benefit of the doubt and say 3%. 3% of the population is committed to replacing the state with the Zippo. 3%. I don't know our exact population, but just for the sake of math, because I'm a simple man. I didn't grow up with Common Core, so I don't understand the maths the way that you Common Core folks do, because government is good and it teaches people in better ways than it keeps getting better and better, right? That was sarcasm, by the way. 3%, let's say we got 300 million people. That's that's maybe 9 million people. Wow, that sounds like a lot. 9 million people. Of the people that are for replacing the state with zero, zip, nada, zilch, the voluntarists, the ANCAPers, I'll even throw in ANCOMs, mutualists, whatever anarcho flavor you are, of those folks, and again, I don't think that there's scientific data on this, so I'm basing this on my personal experience, on my personal observations, so these are all crude estimates. What percentage of people are actually connected to other folks in their local area? As in, they know them, I use the word, I'll say fellowship. They fellowship with them in liberty, as in they live liberty together. They're networked. They rely on one another. They can take care of one another. They have built alternative products and services to compete with the coercive enterprises around them. The biggest coercive enterprise in this land being the United States of America federal government and all its little subsidiaries. What percentage of people are really, really doing that? I mean, there are some folks that are doing that. I know the most about Liberate RVA with Cal Molinet, but there are other groups that they actually are connecting to local folks. But even if you look at Liberate RVA, which I love, and if you don't know anything about Liberate RVA, Google it, check out Cal's videos, great stuff. I support them. There are maybe 100 to 200 some folks in the Richmond area, which is really, really impressive. How far along are they in terms of producing viable alternative products and services? I mean, you'll have to ask Cal. I think they have a ways to go to where you can say that they really have viable alternative products. Like if everything suddenly collapsed today in Richmond, would Liberate RVA be able to come forward and say, dudes, we got this? I don't think so. I could be wrong. But maybe they're one of the best groups as far as maybe being able to say yes. I don't know. I live in the Lehigh Valley. And I tell you, nothing I'd love better than to connect to folks in the Lehigh Valley that embrace liberty, as in embrace replacing the state with zero, zip, nada, zilch. Can't find them. I mean, I'm sure they exist, and I'm sure I'm going to find them. I'm working on a newspaper in this area with voluntarist principles, first and foremost, to make me a living, because daddy's got to eat, but also to connect, to find these folks so that we can start to live liberty together. It's difficult, and I see this all across. I'm networked with a fair number of folks, over 1,000 folks across across the world, but most of them are in the United States of America, and it's a common thread that I see from these folks. Man, I want to connect to people that live in my area. I'm very fortunate. I have a very close friend that is from this area that we actually kind of crossed over together a couple of years ago, and so I have at least one person. But I mean, I see the stories, I see the anecdotes that tell me this isn't a common thing, and maybe 10%. If that 10% of voluntarists have any kind of real connection to fellow voluntarists, whatever, anarchists, whatever, in their local area, as in they're within proximity, they can visit each other on a regular basis, they meet on a regular basis, they talk on a regular basis, face to face. Maybe 10%, so now we're down to 900,000 people. And of those people that are networked together, what percentage of that group do you think is capable of producing an alternative products and services to the coercive enterprises if suddenly the coercive enterprises went away? I'm just going to be generous and say 10%. 10%. So now we're down to 90,000 people maybe that are capable, and they're dispersed throughout this land. So you got, and again, none of this is scientific numbers, so I'm just gonna play my little educational guess game nonetheless. 90,000 people, and there's 50 states, and that's what is that? That goes around maybe 40,000 in each state, and each state, let's just say each state averages about 20 counties in each state. So now we're down to maybe 2,500 in each county. And each county has maybe, let's say, 20 communities each. I mean, these are generous numbers I'm throwing out here. So whatever number I come up with, trust me, it's going to be way higher than the actual reality. So now we're down to 2,500 divided by 20. We're maybe 500 people in each community across this country. Maybe 500 people. And each, then you have to look at where are they dispersed? Because in order for you to provide viable alternative products and services to what the coercive enterprise has, you have to have a fair number of people to be able to have the diversity of expertise to be able to provide those alternative products and services, whatever the case might be, whether it's, your basic needs, food, shelter, healthcare, education, your basic wants, beer, bacon. Who's going to make the bacon? Who's not wanting a coercive system or part of that coercive system? So all of this is to point out that if the balloon were to go up, so to speak, and revolution started, civil war started, what you would have is a tiny minority of people who, if they were to take up arms to overthrow the state, there would be amongst the state-on-state bases, there would be less than 1 in 10, less than 5 in 10, less than whatever, 5 in 100, less than 5 in 100, that would say, hey, let's replace the state with zero, not a zip zilch. Wouldn't happen. And in addition to that, everyone's going to look around and they're going to say, where are the lights? Who has the lights on? The state faces. What they're going to do is, if and when, wherever they take territory, they're going to move right in and they're going to go ahead and take over all of those institutions, products, and services that the coercive enterprise ran. And they're going to be able to step in right away and say, dude, we got this. Don't listen to the zero, not a zip zilchers. Look at this, man. Dude. I know that last coercive enterprise sucked, but this coercive enterprise is going to be awesome. So I am going to do a part 2. And in part 2, I'm going to talk about what does it look like in a world in that civil war. All of this goes to basically call on voluntarists and cappers, anarchists, all the people who say let's replace the state with zero, not a zip zilch, to say, dudes, cool your jets. Tone down your freaking rhetoric. And no, this isn't an order, this isn't a command. I'm just a dude with a camera and a YouTube channel. I am expressing my opinion. I am not assuming authority over anyone. I am not pretending to be a ruler of anything, but I am appealing to your sense of logic and reason. Cool your jets, because what you are enabling, what you are encouraging, is not going to help us. And I'm going to spell it out even more in the second part of this video. But before you go to the second video, make sure that you like, share, comment, and above all else, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Because remember, if you subscribe to this YouTube channel, for every person that subscribes to this YouTube channel, we will feed a state face in San Francisco, and then they will convert to the zero zip, not a zilch group. I am lying, I just made that up. This is Paul Gordon of Stay Awake. Be sure to tune in soon after this video.